Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel that brings you everything control related. And before we go into the Time Spiral Remastered spoilers and the control cards that I think you should be picking up in multiple formats, I just wanted to highlight and say a big thank you to all the people that have recently subscribed to the channel. It's much appreciated, and whoever's been sort of using my code for mana traders, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys as well, because from now on I will be doing leagues on MTGO, which is going to be massive for the channel, and like I said, it's very much appreciated. So with that being said, then I just want to say a big thank you, and let's just go straight into the spoiler cards that I think you should pick up in multiple formats for control players. So we're just going to highlight each individual one. So the first one here, guys, we have Aventa, Schaefer, Savant. It's 2 colourless, 2 blue. Flash, legendary creature, 2/2 creature. When it enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Now, this doesn't necessarily see a lot of play in the main deck, but it does see some play in sideboards, and it's going for about $10 now. That's the cheapest one, and the most expensive one I think is around about $18. Once these come out in Time Spiral Remastered, I do believe these will drop down to about roughly about $5, maybe $4 to $5. I will be picking up myself a copy because I do believe it's a good card. It's a good sideboard card, and it can be very useful. It's interesting to know that it's return target spell, so even if you can't counter that spell, you can return it to the owner's hand. So this is pretty sweet, and you could potentially return your Snapcaster Mage to your hand, replay Snapcaster Mage for value, etc. So there is a few things that you can do with it. So this is the first card that I'm going to highlight that you might want to invest in moving forward. Alright, so the next card then, guys, is Muldrifter. Now, it's a fairly cheap card. You can pick them up for about $1.50. They do see a lot of play in Pauper, and they see a lot of play in Commander. I'm not saying that you guys may not have these already, but it's something to pick up, maybe a play set of these if you're interested in those formats. Muldrifter is a great card, 2/2 creature with flying, 2 colourless, 2 blue to draw 2 cards, or 5 mana to have a 2/2 flyer that comes into play and draws 2 cards. So this might be something that you're interested in moving forward. So I would pick up a play set if you're into those sort of formats. So that's the second card I'm going to highlight. The third card I'm going to highlight, guys, is Ninja of the Deep Hours. This sees a lot of play in Ninja Bears in Modern. It also sees a lot of play in Pauper decks, so in the Pauper format. So this is something that you may want to pick up. It's only about $1 each, but you might be able to pick these up for like 20 cents time they come out again in Time Spiral Remastered. And I would pick up a playset if you could. Works well in Fairy decks, in Pauper, and it works very well in Modern, like I said. So this may be something that you want to pick up moving forward. The fourth card I'm going to highlight, guys, is Paradoxical Outcome. I love the border here. I love this type of border. I think it's beautiful. And yeah, I really like this border art. I really like it a lot. And it's a fantastic card. It sees a lot of play in Vintage, whereby you can just unload all your artifacts that produce mana, cast a spell, draw a load of cards, restock your hand, replay those cards again, and then go from there. So Paradoxical Outcome is a very good card. Sees a little bit of play in Commander, could be useful in Commander, and yeah, I mean, it's something that you may want to pick up. I don't think it's massively expensive, but with the reprint it will reduce the price. So, and if you like that border art like I do, you may want to pick up a playset of those. Okay, for the next card then, I'm going to highlight Pact of Negation. 0 counter target spell at the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 3 colourless, 2 blue. If you don't, you lose the game. This sees a lot of play in like Ad Nauseam type decks. Does see some play in control decks every now and again. I would pick up maybe 1 or 2 of these. Could be useful in Commander, could be very useful in Modern, could be useful in Legacy even. So if this is something that interests you, maybe pick up a copy of these. These are about 30 to between $30 and $50, so it's definitely worth picking up one of these copies. There's no different artwork or border artwork on this, unfortunately, but definitely worth picking up nonetheless. So if there's something that interests you, maybe pick up this card. Alright, the next card I'm going to highlight is Remand. This sees a lot of play in like UR control, a little bit of play in blue-white control, all sorts of different control decks really. They are about $3 or $4. You may be able to pick these up for $1 or $2 time they get a reprint. I would pick up a playset. Plus, you've got the different border art here, which makes it look even better. I might even invest in these and get rid of the Remands that I have, just because of the border art here. But yeah, very useful card in Modern. Very useful card in Commander. Doesn't see that much play in Legacy and Vintage, but I definitely think it's worth picking up a playset of these for $1 or $2 each, if that's what you want to do moving forward. Right, the next card I want to talk about is Ancestral Vision. Now, believe it or not, this was a $50 to $60 card at one stage. I managed to pick up a couple of these cards through Pucker Trade years and years ago when Pucker Trade was quite popular. But it is mythic, so it's interesting. It's only about $8 at the moment, so I can't see this dropping too much if it's that mythic. But you might be able to pick these up for about $5 to $6. Very good card. It's very good in certain decks. Like if you bring these in from the sideboard when you're playing like Delver or something, if you're playing like a fairly slow strategy, you're able to restock your hand. I can see this being very good. It's good in Commander. It's good in As for Toad decks because you could just draw 3 cards straight off from it. So I like this card a lot, and it might see quite a bit of play in Modern. Definitely see play in Commander. And it might even see play in Legacy. So I like this card a lot, guys, moving forward. So if you haven't got this card, maybe think about picking it up. Alright, another card that sees quite a little bit of Legacy play and maybe some Commander play. Maybe not so much Commander play anymore, but definitely a Legacy is True Name Nemesis. I love the border art on this. It's a 3/1 creature, and when you enter the battlefield, you have protection from the chosen player. So the only way you can get rid of this is Edict effects. Without Edict effects, this creature cannot die, and it's very useful in Legacy. Very strong in Legacy, especially if you put a few equipment on this. I love the border art on this. I know Nikachu's a big fan of Merfolk, obviously, and he's a big fan of this artwork. So I might even pick up a few copies of this as well, because I do play Legacy from time to time. So yeah, maybe think about picking up 2 or 3, maybe even a playset of these. Another card I want to talk about is Ponder. I do like the artwork again on this, the border art. Sees a lot of play in Legacy. Sees a bit of play in Pauper. So if you play those formats, you may want to think about picking up these cards, or this card in particular. It's very good. I like the border art, and yeah, they're about $3 or $4 at the moment, so you'll be able to pick these up fairly cheap moving forward. And I definitely would pick up a playset if you can. Another card I want to mention here, guys, is Teferi, Mage of Zhalfir. Now, it's dropped off the face of the planet in terms of Modern. It used to see a lot of Modern sideboard play, purely for the fact that your opponent can't cast spells, or can only cast spells, sorry, at sorcery speed, which makes this very good in after sideboarding, especially against certain decks. But I think this sees a lot of play in Commander, and it could be fairly useful for you guys. So it's definitely worth picking up 1 or 2 of these copies, maybe one in the sideboard for Modern, or definitely a card in Modern in Commander. Can't even speak. So I think they're about $10 at the moment. These might drop down to about $5. But if you're interested in this sort of strategy or this sort of card, I'd definitely think about picking one up. And if anything, it's iconic. If you're a Teferi collector or something like that, you may want to collect all the different Teferis. So definitely worth picking up if that's something that interests you. Alright, so we have another control card here, guys, in Mystic Confluence. Mainly sees playing Commander, but I love the border art on this. Similar to True Name Nemesis. And it's a great card in Commander. Awesome control card in Commander. You choose 3 modes. You get to either counter target spell unless its controller pays 3, return target creature to its owner's hand, or draw a card. I just love the flexibility of this, and a lot of control players love the flexibility. So it's only about $5 at the moment, but this is the first time it has this border art, so this may be something that you want to pick up moving forward. So give it a go, guys, if this is something that you're interested in. Another control card that sees a little bit of sideboard play in blue-white control, blue-white miracles, etc. is Containment Priests, because you have a format in Legacy where they try and cheat in Emrakul, and Containment Priests can be very, very useful against those type of strategies. And they've done the same thing with the border art here. They've made it old school border art. So people might be interested in this. I like Containment Priests a lot. And if you want to pick yourself up a copy of this with different border art, maybe something you want to do moving forward. So definitely a good card to pick up, guys, moving forward. Another control card here in Restoration Angel. I love the border art again. And this does see a little bit of play in blue-white miracles. Sorry, blue-white control, sorry. In Modern. Sees a little bit of play in Death and Taxes. It's very, very useful. Being able to flicker effect, which is nice. And it does see a little bit of play in Commander from time to time, especially in Angel decks. So if you're interested in this, I would maybe pick up a copy. And yeah, I just really like the artwork on this one, actually. So if this is something that you're interested in moving forward, maybe pick up a copy. And you must maybe be able to pick one up for a couple of dollars. Another iconic card here, guys, in Path to Exile. Just does what it says on the tin, really. It's exile target creatures, controller searches for basic, puts it into play tapped. I like this artwork. I like the border art. You can normally pick these up for about $3 or $4 after reprint. They normally stay around about $5 to $6. If you can pick these up fairly cheap when they're reprinted, I would definitely pick up a playset, because they see all sorts of play in Modern. And it can be useful in Commander as well, so maybe think about picking up some of these cards, guys. And then finally, guys, we have Chalice of the Void, a very good control card. Sees a little bit of sideboard play, sometimes sees main board play in like Tron, etc. Basically shuts out certain mana cost spells. So if you tap 2 mana, play this, it stops 1 mana spells. To put 4 mana into it, stops 2 mana spells, etc. So it can be very useful against certain decks that, for example, Delver have a lot of 1 mana spells. So if you can get this out for 1 mana, it becomes very difficult for Delver to win. And it sees play in Legacy, Modern, even Vintage. So it's definitely worth thinking about picking up a couple of Chalice of the Void. It's an absolutely awesome card, and it can range between sort of $30 to $60. So if you can pick this up fairly cheap. I love the artwork, by the way, the border art. And yeah, if you can pick these up, it definitely will be worth it if you're a control player. So that is all the cards we have, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be bringing you more Time Spiral Remastered spoilers moving forward. And don't forget to give the video a like if you like it. And just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's supported my channel so far. Long may it continue, and I shall see you in future videos, guys. God bless, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.